You know, after making my video addressing the Silent Hill rumors, I wasn't planning on making another video addressing Silent Hill rumors, but I can't stop thinking about it and having opinions on it, and my brain will not leave me alone about it until I do it again. I'm in the middle of working on a bunch of really big projects, so I don't have the time to take off to seriously address this and make an essay video out of it. So I'm just going to do this again and get the thoughts out of my head. I promise not all my Silent Hill videos are going to look like this in the future. As you've seen in the title, this is about the rumors that a Silent Hill 2 remake is being made, and the frustrating fact that everyone hates the idea already. Literally every single opinion I've seen about the idea has led to, oh, why are they doing this? Oh, it's going to be trash. Fan art of Maria as a drug addict, because clearly they're gonna change the game and make it into something, I don't know, it's wild. The dedication people have given to hating the concept of something that hasn't even been officially announced, and nothing has been shown of it. It's just, maybe they're making a remake, and people hate it. Y'all, calm down. Let's talk about why remakes are always a good thing. Remakes are a controversial subject because inevitably they are addressed to games that are very, very popular and have a near and dear place in people's hearts and in video game history. I'm thinking of Final Fantasy VII, obviously. The remake was very successful, but many of the reasons for that were the original team was involved and had a really big budget and clearly did a lot with it. But even then, the game was still controversial. I think it's a success, I've enjoyed it, and it doesn't erase the existence of the first game. Resident Evil has also had a lot of success with remakes, but that's a series that's never been heavy on plot and has focused a lot more on intriguing gameplay. And once again, they've managed to keep what made the originals very fun and update what could be updated and make it a little fresher and a little more interesting. They did a great job. Of course, Resident Evil 3 cut a lot of content and was controversial for that reason. I still had fun with it, but again, these games don't erase the original. Silent Hill 2 is one of the best video games of all time. I agree. I make fun of it sometimes to piss people off because I find that funny. But it is a very good experience and a very powerful experience that's heavily focused on storytelling, symbolism, and psychology, which is harder to remake because it's not something you can necessarily upgrade. It's not graphics, it's not gameplay, it's not something that improves with time, it's not something that needs changed. So how do you go about making a Silent Hill 2 remake that's not going to be upsetting to people who already really love and adore the first game? Inevitably, what you're going to have to do is step away from the original and create something that's more of a homage to the original. Something that draws the original to mind, something that makes you feel like you did when you played the first game, but it's not going to be the same experience, because for a lot of people, they know the big twist going into it. They know what's going on in the story. Of course, there will be those that don't, but you have to work from the point of view that Silent Hill 2's major moment is not going to be the same because you're recreating it for an audience that already experienced it. I still think the game should exist, and why? Well, for one, if it's a good game, then it's a good game. And if it's not a good game, you can ignore it. There's this push online of don't do it because they expect it to be bad, which seems foolish, because then you're immediately erasing the possibility that it could be good. If it comes out and it's great, then yeah, we get another cool game in a series that we already love. If it's bad, then just don't play it, don't buy it. You're back in the same place you were before, just enjoying the first one and ignoring the new one. Ignoring the possibility that it could be good is foolish because, as we've seen with Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil 2 Remake, remakes can be fantastic. For another point, even if it is bad, there will be something redeeming in it. My least favorite Silent Hill is Silent Hill Homecoming. It's a mess. But some of my favorite elements in the series come from that game. There's beautiful world design and level design, there's some really fantastic moments, and I'm glad the game exists. It is a flawed work of art, but I'm glad it's still here, and I wouldn't rather it not exist because it's bad. The release of a remake of Silent Hill 2 will draw attention back to Silent Hill 2. Because as much as people on the internet and people in the fandom feel like that game is so incredibly famous, It's been 2 decades, and there's a lot of people that have never played it or even heard of it. And putting a new game out, putting it on the shelves of every Walmart and Target, is going to have it flooding the public consciousness of video gamers. It's going to have people writing articles about it, and writing articles about the original, and being nostalgic about their past with the series and with the game. No matter how the game does or what it actually is, the first Silent Hill 2 will benefit from it and receive a great influx of new interest and new players for it. Good sales of the game may encourage Konami to pay more attention to the first 4 games and make them more readily available. Now, we've seen this happen in the past with the PS3 HD collection and it not go very well, because apparently they threw the source code in a toilet, but who knows, maybe they'll find that toilet and pull the source code back out. Maybe they'll go online and download it from the internet. Who knows? The possibilities are endless, but nothing will happen if nothing happens. If there's no game, there's no possibility that Konami will do something in the future. If there is a game and it does well, they might consider their options. This may make the game accessible to new people for the first time. I know in the West it feels like you can get whatever game you want whenever you want, but the reality is, when Silent Hill 2 first released, it primarily released in the United States, Canada, Australia, Europe, China, Korea, Japan, and not a lot of other places, and getting a PS2 copy becomes very, very hard outside of those places, especially as time goes on. Piracy is an option, but not for everyone. You have to have a pretty decent rig to do it, and not everyone has access to that. I've heard from countless folks in South America that the first time they ever had access to Silent Hill 2 was the bad HD collection. So even though the collection's not great, it meant that a lot of people got to experience Silent Hill for the first time because it was finally accessible in their country. And I am certain that if a Silent Hill 2 remake came out for PS5 or what have you, it would definitely be the first time some countries have had access to that game. Creation's better than stagnation, even a bad creation. You don't learn from doing nothing. You have to make something to learn from it. And yes, Konami is a crap company, but in 2019 they actually did have a new president come in. I found very, very little about him on the internet, and I am still looking. But theoretically, all this change in direction with the online store and putting out old collections of the games and seeming to pay more attention to Silent Hill and merchandise might be because the new guy actually is treading the waters to try and find out if fans want content for their old series. And I hope that we are getting something for that. I guess we'll find out in the next couple years if these rumors prove true. I just want, as I've said in my last video, for Silent Hill fans to be open-minded. Don't decide that you hate it already. You've not even seen it. You have no idea what it is, no idea who's making it, no idea what it could be. Give it a chance before you decide already that it's terrible. And even if it does turn out terrible, the benefits outweigh the negatives, because new people will get to experience Silent Hill 2. People that have never had access to it will get to see it for the first time. The original game will get more attention, new people playing it, new fans of the series, they'll check out the other games. No matter how you look at it, a Silent Hill 2 remake is a win for Silent Hill.